you can still get the lecture. So I post these to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it too, so you get them before I even put the links in Canvas. And you can look at last semester's. Yeah, I think it's just Erica Burns. But once you guys get my first link, you'll be able to find my channel and subscribe. I think it's kind of pseudo-public. I don't know. I don't understand those settings. I don't want to become YouTube popular. I want my students to have access to what they need. Right? That's my goal, and it's the cheapest way to store stuff and have you guys have access to it. So homepage, right? Click on Canvas. So this is not an online class, right? You got to come to class, especially this semester, because you're going to get points for coming and participating in class. Why are you not remembering my password? Okay, so one good thing about this is it makes me type it. The second thing is it wastes time as far as I'm concerned. Your Lola and your Canvas email, username and password are the same. I usually set up my Delgado email password the same. So they're all the same, right? And I change them at the same time because every 108 days, like, Lola makes you change, right? Which is going to, of course, change your Canvas one. And it's complicated, right? We all hate it, like all these restrictions now. You have to have some symbol and some numbers and a capital letter and lowercase. It's all these problems, right? And then so a lot of us like that our computers will remember these for us. But I'm going to caution you. We're going to go to the computer lab for the tests in my class, right? I'm going to reserve the computer lab in Building 1. You're going to have to log on to Canvas to take your tests. If your computer is remembering your password for always, and with test anxiety, you're going to come into lab and you're going to freak out and you're going to put it in too many times and you're going to get locked out. So write it down someplace secure. Typically for most of us, that's in our cell phone under the notes section. Disguised some way, right? So make sure you know your password. Okay. And if any time you can't get into Canvas, try to log into Lola, right? Don't do it too many times because you'll get locked out. If you do it 1 or 2 times and you can't get that darn thing to work, reset your password or call the number, right? Because if you do it too many times, they're going to lock you out, okay? Because they think someone's trying to hack you or something. I don't know. I don't think this stuff is all that. Yeah, it's easy to, yeah. It's not hard. So the other thing was when you come into Canvas, you'll notice right now they're screaming at you all the time, all these announcements, because students don't read their Delgado emails anymore or their personal emails when it says Delgado in the title. So now they're trying to get you in Canvas, because most of us use Canvas. So right now it's the first page is kind of flooded, and some of these you may or may not see because they might be directed towards faculty. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see your dashboard, and you have 2 options. You can have this recent activity, which is all your classes, which can be helpful, or you can have these course buttons. And the nice thing I like about these is you can go here and you can edit the title of your course. So for me, where I teach multiple sections, multiple sections of the same course, they all say like the same thing, and I'm trying to find the class I'm looking for. So I can change these, right? It doesn't change for you guys, but it changes for me. So when I click on courses, do you see here how I have them? It's a different title than what you guys see, right? They don't say Biology 210. Instead, they say Micro, Monday, Wednesday, 11 a.m., you know, and what semester, so I can keep track. But what I'm going to do is, and if you don't see any of these, that's because you haven't picked any favorites. You got to click on courses, and you can click the little star next to it and make it your favorite. So as you can see, I have a lot of classes, past and present, that I have access to. So it makes it easier to me to have some favorites and to change those names. But you got to do it in your dashboard to change those. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our class. So Tuesday, Thursday. And so again, you have a general home page just for this class, important information. Mine looks a little bit different because I'm obviously the instructor. So I'm going to go into my student view so that it appears as it does for you. And it just does the upcoming for the week, right? Nothing for next week even. And you can click the calendar there as well as there. And then there's messaging here. The nice thing about this is that whatever email you have linked to Delgado, and you can find out whether you picked a different preferred email by going to Lola and seeing what's under there. So whatever email, right, is the preferred, you can't change that, by the way. It's whatever you set up when you registered for Delgado. The registrar's office doesn't change it anymore, or can't. I don't know which it is. Doesn't matter, they say no. Make sure that you know which account you should be checking, right? The nice thing about this is that for some of us, like myself, if a student emails me through Canvas, it also gets sent to my Delgado email, which I have set up on my phone. And it's better organized for me there, but the good news is it saves it in both places, right? So just something to let you know. But once you start the conversation in Canvas, which I sent everyone a welcome email, right? If you didn't get it, then you're not checking your preferred email. Go find it. And you can just save that one and reply to me. And the nice thing about it is it has in the subject line what class you're in. And depending on what account it is, it should also tell me who you are. So you don't have to worry about telling me that important information. It'll do it already. So all the important stuff I put on Canvas. So the next page is the syllabus page, which, okay, I did put it for this class. Of course, this is not an online course, right? This is, you have to show up for lecture. This page in Canvas isn't the syllabus, clearly, right? It is what they call a syllabus, and instructors can link stuff to this page. I haven't bothered with this class for that. I usually do that for my online students because they need that extra guidance onto where they're going, where usually it's enough for me to tell you guys and remind you that all the stuff is under modules, right? So if you're looking for anything, for the most part, you just click modules, right? So we will do that. And you will see my schedule. So my name is Erica Burns. It's great to meet you guys. And you can make it full screen. You can download it. I don't know why I hit that button. Go away. There we go. You'll see, as I said, that I teach multiple sections of the same course. So this course I teach again on Monday, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock. I teach the lab on Tuesdays before this class and on Wednesdays in the morning. So you don't necessarily need to tell me Biology 210, Section 102, I think you guys are. Again, that really doesn't mean that much to me, and it probably doesn't to you. What really means to me is micro, Tuesday, Thursday, right? That'll let me know what class you're in. Does that make sense to you guys? And if you're lab, you say Tuesday or Wednesday lab, right? And of course, my online students will tell me they're an online student. They're usually pretty good about telling me who they are, though. It's you guys that forget to tell me who you are. And depending on who you are and what class you're in is going to determine sometimes what answer I give you, right? So you need to give me that important information. So the other thing I provide to my students, and people probably think I'm crazy, but it is my Google number. And so this number you can put into your phone. You can call me or text me. It rings both my cell phone and my office phone. It is my Google number, which means I can deactivate this account if you become a stalker and start a new account. Please don't make me have to do that. And I've been using it for several years. If you become a super texter, I will put you in my contacts list, right? Which means you text me a lot, and so that way I automatically know who you are. Most students, I don't become super texters, and you have to tell me each time you text me who you are and what class you're in when you text me, right? Because I'm not going to know that information. And even if you're a super texter, I'm probably going to know your name, but I'm probably going to ask you what class you're in. You'll know if you're a super texter because when I answer the phone, I will say your name. Right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? And I will delete you at the end of the semester because otherwise my contacts list would eventually get insane on my phone. So my email is eburns1@dcc.edu. Someone beat me to the eburns, so I'm number one, which I am number one. So, right? There's apparently an Aaron Burns. My office is over in Building 1, as I said, along with the lab. If I'm ever not in my office during office hours, I might be down the hall in the lab. I actually have a little board on my door that will say, I'm in Microbiology Lab 102 West, come on by, and please do so. But if I forget to move my little arrow, check there first. And then call me on the phone, right, and figure out where the heck I am if my boss pulled me away. Are you here from microbiology? Yes. Welcome. So these may potentially change because they made us set these hours before some of our other meetings that aren't preset have been set. I don't know. They want us to have schedules up. So here's my schedule. It may change. Guess where I'm going to post it when and if it changes? On Canvas. You guys are already starting out awesome. Okay, so it is the only cubicle over in Cubicle Land 113W that has a blue roof, and my guard dog up there. He's a skeleton. A colleague gave me as a present. A fake skeleton of a dog guarding my cubicle. Okay, I have a lid because I have allergy issues, and when they were doing the construction, they almost killed me. So I had to kind of confine my space and be able to keep it clean with a filter, a HEPA filter that's in there. I've thankfully, since the construction's over in that building, been able to turn it off, and I seem to be okay. So maybe I can donate my HEPA filter to someone else who's dying at Delgado. So any questions in regards to this? So feel free to go ahead and put my phone number in your cell phone and put my contact information in there so that you have it readily accessible. All right, I think at this point I'm going to hit, all right, so all important stuff is found where? Modules. Oh, you guys are great. Okay, so the next thing is you'll notice that there's a departmental syllabus that we all use within the department, right? The standard stuff that students don't pay attention to, but we have to inform you of. And I will lose my mind if you make me read that to you. So I have an addendum, right, which is all the important stuff you care about and that you really absolutely need to know for this course. All the other stuff tends to repeat, right? So we will go to this one. And so this is where everybody saw my doggy picture. So that's Joy photobombing me and my son. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's a little black lab mix that we rescued from Villa Lobos, the show on Animal Planet called Pit Bulls and Parolees. So my husband had been watching that show, and he's like, you know, they have non-pit bulls. So once I had mourned the loss of my dog that I had for 15 years, I was like, okay, I'm ready for another baby, and I believe in rescues, you know. So they're a great organization, and they found the perfect match for me. And even though when they brought Joy out, her name was Janice, which we had to change. She didn't know it, so it had to be changed. And she really is a joy, and her nickname is Joy Stick because she's tons of fun to play with. And she's about 2-ish. We've had her about a year now. She's pretty awesome. And she looked a lot like my old dog, and my husband was really concerned. And I said, no, I love her. And apparently, you know how they talk about black cats not getting adopted? Black dogs apparently don't get adopted because they're not flashy. I was like, you kidding me? She's gorgeous, right? She's a black beauty with a little white speck on her chest. But she's pretty amazing. We love her a lot. And, of course, I love my son. He is 9, goes to Morris Jeff. So I'm the early bird teacher. You'll notice on my schedule I'm here at 8 o'clock every day because I drop him off at school and then I come here. And although I don't have Fridays on my schedule, I'll pretty much be here. I just didn't want to lock myself in on Fridays because I'm the lead instructor for microbiology. So I'm in charge of getting the lab ready every single week, although others help me. But I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of helping out new instructors and all the stuff that goes into that. And then any other tasks my boss decides to have me do, like develop a genetics lab. So I am busy. I'm a busy girl. But I love my students and don't feel that you can't come by. So there's that cubicle I was describing. It's not quite that clean, That's when I cleaned it initially. And we're not allowed to put posters on our windows anymore, so it's just the boring blinds. The posters are inside. So, but that's where I am. You'll see, like I said, I have real walls and windows, but they don't go to the outside. They go to the hallway. That's right when you enter in from this side, it would be the back of building 1 on the west side in that big cubicle area. So I answer a lot of questions because I'm kind of like prime location right there when you walk in. So sometimes when I got to get work done, I will close my door, right? So just knock, right? If the light's on, she's probably home. Or I ran to the bathroom, wait a few seconds, right? But knock first. And as I said, I don't have a picture of it here, but I have a little arrow thing on my door too that'll kind of let you know where I am sometimes. Although today I forgot to move the arrow. I'm not back in the habit for the semester. So I've already explained, but I'll say again, your Lola and your Canvas are linked. Those are the same passwords, username. If you're having trouble getting into Canvas, check Lola first, right? And then if you can get into Lola, you check your class schedule. Make sure you haven't gotten dropped from your class, and then log back on to Lola. So in general, as I said, make sure you check your preferred email. Whatever you assigned, it's in Lola, right? If you didn't get the welcome email from me, you're not checking your preferred email. Figure out what that is and make sure you check it, right? Because that's secure communication that we've agreed upon. As always with contacting me, you got to make sure that somehow I know who you are and what class you're in. And you can text me after 10 p.m. and before 7, but I will not answer it because my phone won't make any noises because it goes to sleep. There's a sleep mode where only my emergency contacts like my mother and my father, well, not him, father-in-law, and my husband and things like that will actually ring through during those hours. It's a really cool setting that most phones have nowadays. So I won't answer it until, around 8 o'clock when I come into the office. But, if it's like, oh, I just, I don't want to forget to ask her this, you can text me. If you're up during those god-awful hours, then just know I'm not going to reply. You're definitely not going to get a reply during those hours. Those are sleep time hours for me. As I've said, and, as you see, this class is full. All my sections are full. They fill up the minute my name gets put there. I have apparently a really good reputation on rateyourprofessor.com. I've been here for 10 plus years. I really enjoy what I do, and I really enjoy interacting with my students. So please, if you have questions, like I said, if you become a super texter or a super office visitor, that's totally fine by me. Right? You make me a better teacher by doing that, right? Because if I know what you're struggling with, then I can improve for everyone else in the class. So I really thank you guys and value your input. It's important to this process. And I think definitely with doing the polling stuff this semester, I think it'll really help us communicate better than in the past where I'm just like talking to nothing. So what are we going to do? You're going to have a list of objectives for each topic that we go over. This is your study guide. It says things like, list all the characteristics of eukaryotic cells or distinguish eukaryotes from prokaryotes. Of course, you have no idea what most of that means right now, right? But eventually you will. What am I going to go over in my PowerPoints? The objectives. What am I going to test you on? The objectives. Right? It's pretty straightforward, right? No curveballs, nothing out of left field for me. And I record, as I said. You'll see the PowerPoint and me speaking or anything else I show on my screen. Right? I don't videotape my face. I can't do that. Although I have a camera here, right? Really, sometimes. There's been a few times I brought models in and I'll videotape something like that, but that's rare. So those of you guys, believe it or not, I had a student one semester, she had something happen and she stopped coming to class, which you're not going to do that this semester because you're going to lose points, and she thought she could just listen to the videos. It didn't do it for her. She was like, oh my God, I totally put myself at a disservice. Because for some people, what I do with my face and my hands helps your learning, right? Like, I don't know what I do, right? But the emphasis I put on things with my face and with my hands and the way that I am makes a difference for some people. So if you know that about yourself, you know that you really need to be here each day. And again, this semester, there's going to be points attached, so you'll be here. And you won't be tempted to fall into, well, I have these other things going on in my life, and I can just watch Ms. Burns' recorded lectures. Because for some of you guys, that's really not enough. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Maybe someday, you know, I will advance to that level, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So we're gonna do just a couple discussion boards, but I find they're really good tools, and we're gonna actually start out with one that's gonna be your first assignment. How to navigate those discussion boards and how I grade them, I have a video for that. And I'll link this in our main Canvas course, but it's here as well. It does talk about a learning system we used to use, which was Connect, and we're now using Wiley Plus, because we're using a different book publisher. So kind of ignore that part of the video and fast forward to the discussion boards. It's only about 5 minutes, and if you cut out the other stuff, it's less than that. One of the great things, too, is Canvas itself has really great help videos, and this was one that I found really helpful that I also put a link for you guys for helping navigate those things. So as I said, Wiley Plus is some assignments. Some of you guys have probably done things in other classes like Connect and things like that. So these are linked to the book, and they are required for this course. And some students complain because you have to pay money for this, right? Yeah, that's your code. You bought the book at the bookstore? Yeah, that'll give you the code for the assignments, as well as you'll have access to the ebook. At the bookstore?
Through Wiley.com. So I got one for my anatomy and physiology.
No, this class is different. Okay. You just put me in panic mode. We're going to find out exactly how much it is in a minute, because I'll ask someone to volunteer to go through it.
It was $140 for the book and then...
Yeah, at the bookstore, yeah. So it's not too bad, but there are other options that we're going to go over right now. So to give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop of why we do this, it's one of the ways that we can do conformity among the sections of this course that are taught at the school. And that's why all the biology classes are doing this, because what we don't do like other departments is we do not do a departmental final exam. So if we get rid of stuff like this, guess what you're going to have? Departmental final exams. And anybody who's experienced that, is that fun? No, right. So we work with the publishers a lot of times when we try to get the cost down as best we can on these supplemental things, because we understand cost is a pain in the butt, but that's why we do this, right, is so we don't have to do departmental final exams. So take that into consideration when you're griping about it. And I always tell my students, too, like, you know, we've got plenty of beggars on the street corner begging for money. If you stand out there saying, I need money for my textbook or for my Wiley Plus account, if I see you, I'll probably even give you $1. Right? But find some way to get the money, because this is a useful tool, and with this account, the way they're doing it nowadays, which is why the price seems to have gone up a little bit and why we can't negotiate down too much, is that it does include the ebook. So you do not have to buy a physical copy of this book. You could just buy the Wiley Plus, which is the ebook in your assignments, and that's it. You could. If you're one of those people that absolutely need a physical copy, again, we have the binder-ready version, which is cheaper, right? It's 3-hole punch. You stick it into a binder that you can buy at the bookstore. It comes with the Wiley Plus code, so you're not paying extra for that. When you log on to Wiley Plus, you just put in your code. You have the ebook. You have the assignments. You're ready to roll, right? Right now, I know there's a certain amount of time. I just want to warn you guys on when you can use your financial aid for these things at the bookstore, so also keep that in mind. Also, for the first 2 weeks, you can access this online for free. There's a grace period. Okay? So you have lots of options. This book, this edition of the book, has been out for a while. This is the first edition of this particular book. So another option is renting somewhere else, because the bookstore doesn't do that, or buying a copy potentially somewhere else if you just can't live without a physical copy of the book. Okay? So you have options, right? You figure out what works best for your learning style and what you need, right? And what your budget affords. So this is the book. right? I always make sure to put the cover. There's even the link to the bookstore and how to search for your actual book. The Wiley Plus, as I said, is required because you're going to get a grade for these assignments, so you got to do it. And this will keep you from the departmental final exam, right? As long as everybody does this. Students with disabilities. So I have dyslexia, right? Every once in a while I screw something up because of that. I don't have an editor. I don't get offended if you let me know I screwed something up. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I know what it's like to struggle with things. Please don't feel that I'm not going to help you, because I absolutely am. I'll do anything I can to help any of my students under any circumstances. But if you're a student with disabilities and you need certain things that are above and beyond what we can do for just a regular student, you need to go self-identify with Disability Services. Apparently, yet again, we have another new person. But I think she's an old person who used to work for us who's returning. So the good news is she knows what she's doing. But you need to get your documentation to me as soon as possible, okay? So that if there's any particular accommodations, I have enough time to prepare that for you if it's something additional that I don't normally do. Does that make sense to you guys? All right. So make sure you get that done. Make sure you contact me as soon as possible so you get what you need. And like I said, if I can do it, I will do it. Don't worry about that, or I'll find a way to do it. But I also teach I try to teach in a particular way, right? Especially, you know, I couldn't take notes, right? Because of dyslexia, I can't listen and write at the same time. That's why I don't write on the board either, right? It's not something I can do. So, you know, having these things recorded for you guys, you can go and review it after class, right? And that can help you out. So the return of the FN grade. So some of you guys may or may not know about this. We had it in the past and it's back again. What this is that instructors can put this in, and now this semester they didn't have the verbiage done quite yet, so I didn't insert it into my departmental or individual addendum, which is what we're going over right now. It's possible for these to be given at midterm now, which means if you're here today, you're not going to get dropped from my class, right? If you never show up to a class within the first 14 days, as instructors, we will get in trouble if we do not drop you, right? And we will not get money for you because we're telling financial aid they didn't come, you know, for whatever reason. If you show up the first day, you're on the roll, right, and you stop coming, you're going to get an FN at midterm. If you stop coming to all your classes, you will get dropped from the college. You will have to get reinstated, right? That's something new they're doing because apparently some people come here just for the financial aid check. The other thing is if you get an FN at the end of the semester, you're going to be financially liable for that money, and you're not going to get any more financial aid because you didn't use it for the purpose in which it was intended, which is to attend school. Does that make sense to you guys? So that's going to be an issue for any of my students, right? But just to let you know, you can let your friends know, or other classes that you don't like, right, that you need to drop, right? You need to drop. If you do not like me or any of your other instructors, right, or you just can't hack it, you personally are responsible for dropping yourself. Instructors cannot drop you anymore, right, after the 14th day, and we can't drop you if you showed up at least once during the 14-day period. At least we're not supposed to. Okay, so what are some other important dates? So where do we find these? They're in the student handbook, right? How do we get to the student handbook? We're going to do this together. How do I shrink out of this? Escape, they said, right? I didn't pay attention to that. So we're going to go, of course, to the home page. Where do you guys think? Where can we get that information? Where can we get this? You're a current student, good. So where did I say it was? Student handbook. Has important stuff in it. We're in spring semester 2017. Right? Important dates, academic calendar. Oh, and they even updated it to spring semester. Whole bunch of crap they throw at us. And so classes actually began on Saturday. So for my online students, they started on Saturday. Then we had the holiday, right? On Monday. Why don't I not see that listed? Oh, right there. 16th, Monday, no classes. So Wednesday, I don't know why it says 1 to 6. Oh, because 1, if you're doing it on campus, 6 o'clock if you're doing it online, right? They stop dropping add drop Wednesday, which is tomorrow. That's why there's 2 times. So that's an important date. What else is an important date we want to know? When's the last day you can bail out of this class, right?
Is that a W?
Yeah, with a W.
With a W or without?
With a W, right? So April 4th, which is insanely late. And again, by 6 p.m. if you do it online. Yeah, I know. It's insane. I mean, like, yeah. Anyways. But no, that's an important date for you guys, right? Because if you bug out, I can't drop you. I might call you if your information is correct in Lola and say, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on? I might, right? But I have like 100 plus students, right? Depending on how many of you guys wig out, right? This is your responsibility, though, right? The last day of classes is May 1st. It's a Monday. And then final exams begin May 2nd. So do we have classes anymore? No. Right? So, you know, for us, it's going to end the Thursday before, right? That will be our last class, whatever that is, April something or other. How do you know when your final exam is? Oh, you look at final exam schedule. So for the spring semester, we've defined ourselves in this thing, right? So our class meets Tuesday, Thursday at 11 o'clock, right? Bam, I found it. Wow, that was quick. You see it right there? So then I forgot what time. I'm already lost. That was okay, so anyone find it yet? That was for my lab, damn it. Still in lab mode. Oh, is it one of the last days? How am I missing it? Okay. We'll just go each row. Oh, there it is. There it is. Tuesday, Thursday. So we're actually the first day. Tuesday, May 2nd at 1 p.m. But remember, testing, if I can, hopefully no one has grabbed that date. I'm kind of slower than I usually am. We'll probably be going to the testing center, right? The computer lab in Building 1, and you'll do it on the computer. Don't forget your password to Canvas, right? You'll have to log into Canvas. Okay, so everyone's got that important one, so I'm going to put it in Canvas, right? But for any of your other classes, right, this is how you figure it out. If you have a conflict, somebody's not following the schedule. Tell the teacher directly first, right? If they argue with you, then go to their supervisor. Okay, my supervisor is Phil Dennett, right? Just go and tell him good stuff, okay? I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. So those are important dates. And we'll make it big. I see your hand. I forgot how to make it big. There we go. All right.
So, kind of going back to Wiley Plus and everything, are you going to have, I saw there was a link you said that was provided. Is that just kind of like under the Wiley Plus section right here? Okay, cool.
We're going to go over it.
Oh, okay. Then I'll shut up.
That's okay. No, I don't mind. But I'm not going to go into detail right now because we haven't got to it yet. Because I just want to go through this. So this is a little bit of a change, but I've done this last semester. I'm not doing points-based because I don't know how many points we're going to have for the in-class stuff, right? So I'm falling back on the departmental percentages, which my points that I used to do in the past were, you know, a mathematical nightmare, let me tell you. Whew. Okay. And this can be a little bit of a mathematical nightmare, except for the fact that, guess what? Canvas will calculate your grade for you. How awesome is that? But if you were to hand calculate it, you'd have to add up all your points, all your points for these assignments, like the discussion boards, other online assignments, the Wiley Plus, and the in-class stuff we're going to do. And they would only comprise 25% of your grade. So you'd have to multiply by 0.25. And then you would add to it what you get for your final exam. What's the take-home message here? is notice exams are 50% and the final exam is 25%. So exams are the major ones that will contribute to your overall grade in the course. Does that make sense to you guys? So those are, of course, the ones you should worry about, right? This other stuff, just get it done, right? It will help you, right? It could even bump you up a letter grade if you do all of the assignments. And again, these are going to help you because they're designed to prepare you for the tests, right? The exams, okay? And then it's converted into the 10-point scale. This is the other important part of the syllabus addendum. It has each one of our modules. I don't go by chapter titles anymore because they keep changing them on me, so I have my own topics that are short, little names, and then what chapter it's covered in the particular book we're using in that chapter title, or in this case, in an appendix even. So we'll have 3 modules and we'll have 3 exams throughout the semester. This seems like, oh wow, it's just 2 topics. Yeah, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff. But we'll go through it step by step. So the first topic we're going to start out with is microbiology, which I was kind of hoping to get to today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. All right, and then I said we're going to have a few discussion boards, right? The one thing about discussion boards that happens every semester, even though I tell you guys, please do not write all in caps, right? You see that? That's shouting online, right? It's really hard to read what you write when you shout at me, right? And I'm like most people, like when you shout, I just go, okay? So please don't even shout on the computer at me, okay? So I want to read what you write, so don't shout about it. And that's writing in all caps. All the other stuff, you guys are pretty... I don't have you guys do too much research stuff, so you don't really have to cite your sources, even though I still have that in there. I try to do more real-life stuff. So your first assignment, other than, you know, signing up for the free access to Wiley Plus, is, and I actually leave the discussion board thing open because I like to make it quick for discussion boards, but of course everything is always under modules. So look it right there. Module 1, Exam 1. The first thing is to introduce yourself. So although we've already kind of did that cute, cool little word cloud thing, please in your description share your major and anything else you feel comfortable sharing with the class. So you'll see that that I actually already did it and posted it, and ooh, a couple of your classmates already have and already started replying. That's great. I'm going to show you guys a quick way to quickly scan. This collapses. So you see there's only 3 of us that have wrote our initial post, and you do that by clicking right here at reply. If you want to reply to a particular post, which you guys have to reply to at least 2 of your classmates to get all your points for this assignment, right? To re-expand, you just highlight here at the beginning, right? And so I can pull out and read hers, and then at the bottom of hers, notice there's a reply, and I can reply to her post. If you watch my discussion board video, it'll show you how I can go in and I will grade these. And you can see that there's points assigned for this assignment, step-by-step instructions, right? I use a grading rubric, so it's really easy, right? If you put your results, you get your 4 points. If you put the explanation of your results, you get your 2 points. If you reply to 1 classmate and then 2 classmates, you get your 2 points for each. You get your total 10 points. So if you lose points, you can click on the rubric in your grading and you can see where you lost points. And sometimes I'll even write you a comment that says, you know, you have time to fix this. Fix it so you can get your points, right? Or I may make some other comment. To get to that, you go to, and depending on how you have your things set up, you'll see a little box over here next to your grade if I put a comment. And obviously, any of the things that show up next to your grade, if you don't get a 10 out of 10, you're going to click on it, right? Because you want to find out why you lost points. So there will be several ways you can find that out. I got to take that out, though. I'm going to do that later. Leave student view. Okay, so I actually have you guys do a little activity for the discussion board. Oh, you can click on in the grade book too. On the actual assignment, I'll go to it. So I asked you guys to go to this website and take the Kingdomology. And this one, out of all the like personality things, and this is kind of an icebreaker, right? It gets people talking, right? So you click on, they're requiring email now, but I'll tell you, they don't email you anything. I'm surprised they're putting job title optional, but this isn't optional. They really want to know if like you're happy in your career, and stuff like that. And see, only you're going to get stuff if you check that. So one of the things that sometimes my students have trouble with, so I will show you. Come on, Erica. I think even if you put in a fake one, it'll take it, by the way. Okay. Completely satisfied. If I'm not, I should be looking for a new job, right? Okay. So English. Oh, it's still there. It's on English unless you pick otherwise. Okay, you're ranking things. There are 10 questions like this where you're ranking things. You have to use the numbers only once, even though it'll let you use something twice. So a good restaurant, I want to put 1 in family 1. It won't go to the next question if you do that. You have to use each number only once. Does that make sense to you guys? So you have to pick 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Make sure you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, whatever order it makes sense for you, right? And then you click, because see, it won't even let me go, right? Error, right? Let's do 2, 3, 4. Goes to the next question. There are 10 of them. It doesn't take long. You're going to get a result, right? I even hyperlinked my result, if you know how to do that, so it actually goes to the page. But when you get your result, all this stuff in the beginning is the same for everybody, right? Where it says your actual result, like mine, the shepherd, from here to here is what's unique to you. This is what you want to copy and paste, right, into your reply to this discussion board, which is right there, right? So you click here, you put reply. If you want to link us to that page, right, of your result, you copy that page address, you put it here, you highlight it, and you link it. And then you post reply. I'm going to hit cancel because I've already done this. But what else do you need to do? So you got your result. That's step 1, right? What's the next step? Nope, before that even.
Answer other questions.
Yeah, tell us if the Kingdomology result fits you or not, right? You get points for this. Telling us other stuff about you and telling me your major, actually don't get points for. But please do that, right? So we get to know each other. And then, right, once you've done your initial post, reply to at least 2 other people. You know, say hi, you know, get to know each other. All right, so I am going to leave my student view. I'm going to show you guys something, and then I'm going to ask for a volunteer real quick to show you how easy it is to do Wiley Plus. I don't know what I just did. Oh, modules. All right, so Wiley Plus. Here's a video that even shows you how to download my PowerPoints from Canvas, which aren't here yet, but will be for the next class. This is a compatibility check to make sure that your computer is compatible with the software you'll be using. So you can do that on any computer. This is the actual link that'll take you to the book. And right now, whenever any of these links, any of these Wiley links, you will have to register. Okay. This is information. I'm still learning about technology, cookies and caches, right? They sound yummy, sort of. Not really. Apparently they create problems when you're trying to access things like this. So this is links to information on how to take care of those problems before you contact Wiley support, right? Because this is the first thing they're going to tell you. Did you clear your cache? Did you clear your cookies? Right? And I'll be like, what? Okay, that tells you how to do that. Okay? And the assignments themselves, this is information telling you that they're going to be in the modules, right? So you'll actually click in the modules, it'll take you right to the assignments. I haven't linked those up yet because I don't want you guys clicking on stuff you're not supposed to click on. All right, so